Hello everyone, Michael Ringtail here, your human observer. So Genesius Wolf makes this video, Yiff kills love. Now I was going to go through all his talking points and tear them apart one by one, but I felt that Kothorix did a nice job, if a bit too apologetic about it. But I'll link both these videos down below. Now instead of reiterating the same points that he made, I'm going to add something a little different. My own personal experience, because a lot of what Genesius Wolf said resonated with me, because I myself used to be a Christian until I reached the age of reason. Yeah, I was a member of the Burning Church of the Ringtail. Now, before I begin, the thing we're going to focus on most here is the self-described porn addiction that Genesius Wolf admitted to having.
I started off publicly dispelling Yiff to browsing Tumblr nightly for it, over a 3 to 4 year period. I am on the verge of being a pornography addict because of how much of the fandom shoves porn into our faces.
As well as this idea that porn will hurt your relationship. I also want to clarify that porn had nothing to do with me becoming an atheist. I didn't use it as an excuse to not believe in God. That was ironically due to the creationist intelligent design debate. Thanks, Christians. Nothing makes more atheists more than you. Now, Genesius Wolf in his video has also stated that he's trying to double down on his superstition and make the effort to cut himself off from any kind of pornographic imagery.
Over the last week, I've decided to make a change. I've begun to wean myself off of Tumblr and other pornographic websites for furries, and as of about 2 days ago, I've fully given out porn entirely.
Now, I'm going to describe to you how that can be harmful, even more harmful than he thinks porn is. Let's go back to when I was a cub in elementary school. Back around the 5th grade when I made those self-discoveries of my own body. You know the ones I'm talking about. The ones that make you go to the bathroom a lot. The ones that make you hide out in your room with the door locked or something in front of it just in case someone walks in at the wrong time.
Oh, excuse me, Ricky. Ricky, I did see what you were doing. It felt good, didn't it?
Now, I had these desires and fantasies that came in my head, and it wasn't anything that I saw. This is before the internet, before the web. There was no real outside influence on me. Now, I can trace all my fetishes back to even my more younger years as a cub, but I won't get into that. That's for another video. So I had all these fantasies and desires. And then 6th grade rolls around, and my church does this sermon. This sermon about how homosexuality is evil and bestiality is evil.
They shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. And, you know, as a Christian, I believe the Bible, and that's where I get my belief.
And I thought it was some kind of divine intervention, like, oh God, this is going to send me to hell. This sort of fantasizing that I'm doing in my head and these drawings I'm making, these are wrong, these are bad. And so starts the long struggle of resisting the urges that I have, resisting the fantasies that get my rocks off. And then came the internet.
Welcome to the future.
This is the future.
Ooh, it's outrageous. Ooh, it's contagious. Weirder than your wildest dreams.
Got myself a internet connection around middle school, middle of high school. And I go through these routines, these ridiculous routines. I would make deals with God. Oh, please, God, let this happen if I don't masturbate. Oh, please, God, I promise I won't do it again.
Some shitty problem I had in my life, and I made a deal with God. Okay, if you make this problem go away, I will quit smoking, and I won't go back on it because I know that I'd be going back on a deal with God.
I would download dozens of pictures from websites like VCL. I say dozens because it was a 56K connection. Loading pictures back then took forever. I would download all these pictures, jerk myself off, feel ashamed, feel guilty, and then delete it all. And this would go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, all throughout the years, all the way up until I hit college, struggling with myself. I never told any of my peers, except for one. But I knew if any of my regular peers found out, it would just give them more of an excuse to beat the shit out of me. I didn't need to give those humans any more ammo than they already had. I didn't tell any of my parents because I knew better. I knew what would result in me telling them those things is that they wouldn't understand, they wouldn't relate. It would turn into some kind of counseling session or going to some camp.
One morning I woke up, 2 guys were at my house.
You need to wake up and put clothes on. You're going to a school in the Dominican Republic.
I kept my mouth shut about it. Now I'm in college, trying to learn some things about the human world, and I go and spend an entire day downloading porn. The amount of time that I was spending downloading porn just kept increasing more and more and more. And that was all due to the fact that I was so ashamed of having it, so ashamed of looking at it, that it only made me look at it more when it came time for me to be horny again in the next 10 minutes. I'll remember it forever because at that point I just said, fuck it. I'm done. I'm done with this fight that I'm having with myself, within myself. God's just going to have to understand this. God's just going to have to accept me for who I am. And if he doesn't, then he's probably not God and I don't have to worry about it. So I got over it. I spend a hell of a lot less time looking at porn now than I ever did before. Here's my routine of looking at porn when I feel like I want to. Here we are, going through some pictures, some submissions, and I'm done. Under 10 minutes. Sometimes 20, because, you know, you have one hand on the mouse, you're trying to save these pictures, and you have the other hand on your dick, and you're jerking it off. You're trying to do this whole little multitasking routine. But nonetheless, spend a hell of a lot less time on it. Once I got over the idea of feeling guilty of looking at it and having these desires, it's when my addiction stopped. And I feel the same thing could probably happen to you, Genesis Wolf, if you just accepted yourself for who you are and accepted what you actually like and what gets you excited. Now, you go on and say, well, if you look at one type of porn, it's going to evolve somehow into more extreme types of porn.
Porn easily becomes habitual. Because it is a dopamine release, it is a drug. Like every other drug, the further on you get it, the more you need to take. Not just more of it, but at a stronger dosage. This means more of your time is dedicated to it, and fetishes you may have found revolting before suddenly are much more enticing because you want that stronger release.
That is complete, utter bullshit. That is you just denying your own urges, and that goes for anyone else who says the same thing. I would go through the same thing myself back when I was feeling guilty about it. I would find some picture or find some type of extreme fetish, and I would look at it and I'm like, oh, this is kind of exciting. No, this ain't exciting at all. No, I don't find this hot at all. No, please, take it away. Oh, no, not the pause. No, anything but the pause, no. And all that was just me trying to convince myself that I didn't have any attraction to it. Now, we're talking like 10 years ago now. My taste in porn hasn't evolved at all. It's been the same from the start up until the present. If my tastes and desires evolved over time, I'd be jerking off to trains, planes, and automobiles by now. I'd be jerking off to dick-shitting nipples while on fire. So what will help you, what will make you feel a little better, is if you just accept the fact that you have these urges, put aside any kind of social stigma that may be attached to such desires, because no one needs to know the specifics of what you like. You don't have to tell anyone about it. At the same time, you shouldn't feel ashamed about it either. Now notice how I went through all this. I didn't have to say it involved denying your faith, denying your superstition. I can't make you renounce your superstitious beliefs. I can certainly plant the seeds of doubt and hope you grow them up with some questions. But this isn't about that. This isn't about whether or not the idea of a deity even exists. This is about you and your self-proclaimed porn addiction. The idea also comes up in your video about how it damages relationships.
Porn drastically affects your personal life and family. Multiple studies show that porn lessens stability in relationships, heightens the likelihood of divorce, and increases the chances of infidelity.
That it hurts your friends? How? Fucking how? Well, I mean, I can see how porn can hurt a relationship when there's one person who feels like it's bad and you shouldn't look at it, and then they find out that their partner's looking at it, and it turns into this whole big argument of, oh, how dare you? Why are you looking at that? That's bad. Let's get a divorce. We're breaking up if you can't help yourself. Let me take you to this counselor, even though I know you don't believe in this sort of shit. Yeah, that's going to work out really fantastic. And when things fall apart and you break up, you can just point at the porn and be like, the porn did it. The porn ruined our relationship, even though you should just be looking in a mirror. That was just a hypothetical situation, by the way. That wasn't to try to say I know what your relationship is like, because fuck if I know. And I don't know any of your fucking personal details either. Of course, this isn't just directed at you. This is directed at anyone else who's struggling with the same thing. I want to clarify on this. Porn has nothing to do with your relationship. It doesn't harm your relationship. Looking at one type of porn does not lead to more extreme types of porn. And accepting yourself, accepting your urges, accepting your fantasies is going to help you a lot more, as opposed to being in denial and feeling guilty over things that you shouldn't feel guilty about. You only feel guilty about it because your superstition tells you to. And even if you're an atheist and you feel guilty about it, don't. It all comes back down to Christian reasoning. It'll free up your time. It'll free up your life. You'll stop wasting energy thinking about it. You'll stop wasting your life away, essentially. Because no matter what you do, Genesis, you can cut yourself off from porn. You're still going to have those desires. You're still going to have those fantasies. They're not going to go away. Next time you have the urge to, as this goes for everyone, next time you have the urge to masturbate, the only thing it's going to turn into is, it's going to turn into anger. It's going to turn into bitterness. It's going to turn into self-hatred that gets projected onto others. That's all it's going to turn into if you go through life denying yourself, denying who you are and what you are. So I hope this resonates with you. I hope this resonates with anyone else who's watching this or listening to this. If you have any thoughts of your own or any topics you'd like to share, comment down below, like, share this video, subscribe. I'm Michael Ringtail, your human observer. Lemur power. Ha ha ha.